Helen has prepared this reading carefully, and so it's actually written in the ancient Hebrew script without any types of vowels.
Kohen mitian, vayenha elatzon, aha hamidbar, vayavo el ha Elohim foreva, vayeva malach Adonai elav, elabat esh mitohu kasnei. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Oh, say shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Israel.
Mazel tov, Mazel tov, Helen. Helen did such a wonderful job. We're so excited. Hiya, not Helen. Hiya did such a wonderful
This
job.
is Shana, who has really put this whole thing together, and is going to be a rabbi in a little while herself.
Yeah. We're so
thank you
happy
so
to have
much,
done
Shana.
this.
Say how incredible this is for me. And again, pardon me if I start to cry. Everybody in my life is here, almost my whole life, in this moment. That when I read the section where it says that, what is your name? And God says, I am that I am. Now, we've heard that sometimes nowadays, but I had never heard that before. And so when I read that, it was as though the Torah, it was as though like I had put the book down. I am that I am. That meant to me, I'm alive. I'm really exist. I'm not some guy, an invisible guy up in the sky. I am. And I'm like, and now when I think about it, it's like I am alive. And now I think about life. I mean, isn't it amazing? What is life, that we're alive? When God says to Moses, you are, I'm sending you. And Moses goes like, who am I that you should send me? Who am I? And don't we all feel that sometimes? I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. So here now I want to tell you my experience wasn't quite the same as Moses, but I had an experience of being told something. I got a message which has changed me in my life. And that was the first Sabbath that I did. I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And a friend of mine, Eve, from my Zohar group, where we study infinity, said, it's like a retreat. I said, a retreat? Oh, I can do a Sabbath if it's like a retreat. That I know. I don't know Sabbath, but I know retreat. Anyway, I wake up Saturday morning and it's dark, because I wake up at 5 a.m. and it's dark. And I sit down in my seat and I think, can't turn on the lights, can't do any work, can't, call somebody on the phone or turn on the computer, no electricity. So I sit there in the dark and gradually I watch the light come in through the windows as the sun rises. And then I hear the birds. And I think, there's nothing to do today. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, the Sabbath is over like 7 p.m. I mean, And so it's sort of like, I feel like I'm entering this dimension, this timeless dimension. And then I get a message, send a message to Helen. Hiya. And I hear, be generous, Helen. Be generous. And I know it doesn't mean just material generosity. I mean, it means giving from whatever gifts you have gotten from this lineage, because it ain't mine, it ain't my ego, it's whatever, and I'm not allowed to judge them. Am I good enough or not good enough? Give what you have. Be generous with that. And then I hear, do your very best. Do your very best. And I know that means my very best. I don't have to be the great improviser. I don't have to be the best at anything. I have to do my very best. That's all. Means I can do that. I can do my very best. I mean, I may not be, the greatest singer. My sister has that. And then I hear, but the end result is not in your hands. So all I have to do is my very best. But whatever happens at this bat mitzvah, not my fault. It's in someone else's hands. So I can relax, because all I can do is my very best, which is what I'm trying to do, here with everybody. And so I'm hoping, as I said, there's people from every moment in my life here. And, COVID and Zoom, all this, how this miraculous moment, it may not be the opening of the Red Sea, but for me, this is so miraculous, to have everybody here together. Hopefully that we're experiencing this all together when I'm 78. So I think that's enough for now. Now this is the part where I invite everybody, not everybody, but people who are going to speak.
And a man sitting in front of his house in a plaid lawn chair called out to my dad, "How old is your little girl?" 7.5, my dad replied. My little girl is the same age, and that day changed my life forever. We became friends. I learned what a friend is. We competed in Jack's, punchball, croquet, hide and seek, Monopoly, and Sorry. We wrote plays. We played dress up. We climbed jungle bars. We rode bikes. We made jewelry. We started a club. We called it the Little Ladies Club. We wrote plays and dress up and everything. But the most important thing we did was to meet at a corner in between our house where there was a little patch of grass. And it was there that we searched for 4-leaf clovers. We believed that finding one was a guarantee of good luck and happiness forever. She always found more than me. We thought about luck and happiness and what was behind a 4-leaf clover suddenly appearing. We talked about life and its mysteriousness. My friend was a seeker of truth. She still is. I have been blessed by her warmth, kindness, honesty, curiosity, and love since I was 7.5 years old.
Okay, Judy Schatzow, it's your turn now.
Very good.
I have to say, my Hebrew name is also Haya, so a new bond we have, Helen. I hate Zoom and I hate speaking into cyberspace, but I love Helen, and that's why I'm here today. I met Helen when I was 15 at camp. We became good friends, and that was the first time. Helen was hugely helpful during a difficult time in my life. We lived in different towns about a half hour away from each other. She and her family welcomed me into their home, and it became a refuge for me in high school. This year, the second time we helped each other dealing with craziness of COVID, living in Trump's America, health issues and fears. It was very profound, and I could see and feel how deeply spiritual Helen had become. I have seen her long path from Muktananda, India, Naropa, Buddhism, Est. The great thing about Helen is she took the best of each and made it her own. She never lost herself in any tradition. Finally, Helen had to leave New York and go to Maui to find Judaism. Many might travel in the other direction. I can't talk about Helen without talking about Sammy, without important to who she is. He has grounded her, she adores him, and he has become an important spiritual teacher to Helen. Mazel tov, Helen, I love you.
Pat Cervilli. Pat?
So I'm one of Helen's newer friends. We met when we were 25 and both in women's liberation. And at that point, my life opened up to adventure. Helen is an adventurer. And that was a time for everything new, 1968. We had so much fun. We laughed so much. Everything was funny. And Helen was and is the funniest person I know. And I think part of that is because she's so honest. We had many adventures together, a lot of time in Mexico, hitchhiking around in Guatemala and Jamaica, California, New York. We just had fun, lots of fun. But besides being fun, as she is with all her friends, she's been a big help in my life. She has always been there to listen and support me and to tell me the truth. And probably the only person I can really hear it from because I trust her. I know I wouldn't still be married. I'm going to cry. I wouldn't still be married 40 years later if it wasn't for Helen. Helen, the Catholic godmother of my daughter, Bridget. I love you, my best friend forever.
My daughter, Rebecca.
Hi, Aunt Helen. You did an amazing job chanting today. You may not always be in tune, but you chant with your whole heart. And you're in tune with the world and you give your whole heart to the world and to the people around you.
Helen, I discovered Judaism with you, together with you. On Shabbos, I would ride my bicycle over to your house and knock on the door, and we would sit together and enjoy the Shabbos angels. With you, I learned to listen to my ancestors, which is something I'm still growing with. I think most special experience with Helen was celebrating Sukkot together. That night, I heard Helen's voice in my dream, and when I woke up, I think we came to the realization that whatever it is to be part of a soul family, that's definitely what it is. We're definitely very much part of the same soul family. And yeah, I'm just so immensely grateful. I would not be who I am. That none of my life would make as much sense as it does if Helen Kritzler weren't part of it. And
I'd be one of the people that has made me laugh so hard that I've cried lots of times. What a community treasure. I think I knew about Haiku Helen through all the ways she promoted comedy and wonderful community connections first. I have reveled in what a beautiful, loving, prayerful priestess she is. I'm a big fan of magic. She's an amazing actress, improviser. Her magician ability is phenomenal. She's so tricky and loving and sneaky. And I Am That I Am is way more fun with Haya.
I'm the president of the Jewish Congregation of Maui and is Helen's friend. So I got to say, as president, I had tears in my eyes watching you, Helen, laying Torah again. I mean, it was uncontrollable, actually, because why? I mean, aside from the fact that Helen Chaya is just such an awesome human being, but this is the reason for being for the Jewish congregation of Maui. You know, our whole reason for being is so everyone can, to be the biggest possible tent for connecting to the Jewish people on Maui. So it blows my mind just to see that we were able to do this today.
Sam Espinoza from Helen's wonderful son.
Hi, everybody. So, Helen, my mother, I'm going to be turning 31 this year, and I've had the privilege, I've had the honor of being her son and watching her really grow over these years, especially now. I think she's really become the person who really I think she always wanted to be, and it's been such a treat seeing her come into her full being. I wouldn't be the man that I am today without her as my center, especially during these times. She's a light, she's a beacon of hope, not just for me, but for everyone, I feel. And personally, I feel if there was ever someone who was doing God's work, I think it would be her. She's helped so many people. She's opened the hearts of so many people.
Lecha dodi lechrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabala Lecha dodi lechrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabala Lecha dodi lechrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabala Lecha dodi lechrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabala. And everyone has been talking about Helen's life and all of the kinds of things that she did. And I have written a song parody to Life L'chaim. The 70s changed her feelings. With Buddhism, she found some peace. She followed the Dalai Lama, yoga and inner calm. Off to an Indian ashram, computers came in the 80s. Tariq now called for her skills, but a wedding has made us say, computers, another day. Drink to the new bride, what thrills! We'll raise a glass and sip a drop of schnapps in honor of cute Sam, who changed her life anew. We know that when good fortune gave her such a treasure, it thrilled our whole family too. Then off she went to Maui with young Sam at 8 years in tow. Computer improv and reading palms, now Torah chanting psalms. Toast to Helen, hooray!
Hooray.
Mazel tov!
I first met Helen as an improv partner, as someone who was able to put on this really strange European accent, Eastern European accent, and play partisans, gangsters, sometimes princesses, sometimes astronauts, role of teaching classes. And I became, in some way, Helen's teacher. And it was an honor to be Helen's teacher, because everyone who's a teacher learns more than anything from their students. And Helen has become my teacher. And what I've learned from Helen is something about what the Torah is. And the Torah is, first of all, a song. It's a song that reverberates through us each day. It's a song that we sing as part of our existence, as part of our life. One of this, and what Helen has showed me, is something about how an entire life, how so many different experiences and so many backgrounds and so many worlds that she's been in are all woven into a reverberating song that walks with her at each moment, a song that draws other people in, a song that lends power to her words, to her smiles, to her hugs, and to her interactions with everybody that she meets. And we have an identity that places our 2 feet on the ground. We have an identity that's woven from so many generations that have their traces in our bodies, their traces in our cells. How all this wisdom that comes from the earth somehow plays itself out in our own lives. And we can walk time-worn paths and sing songs that have been sung 100 and thousands of times before and have them give us echoes within. And I saw Helen shining with this type of light and being this type of rabbi and being a teacher that she is. And I understood something about all this tradition that I've come from. And I've learned something from someone who was once my student. So I wish you mazel tov on this day.
Everybody join me. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die.
It's been so wonderful to see everybody. And and the family that we have here, the Kritzlers, the Wellicotts, the Bryans, the Espinosas, and everybody. As I said, thank you so much. And I hope it's been as wonderful for you as this has been for me. And you know, the angels, yes, Susan, the angels are with us.